Okay, well, welcome everyone to today's Process Mining Academy session. Today we'll be focusing on how to empower more people in the organization with process mining insights by embedding those process mining insights in platform analytics dashboards. Now, I love this topic because it helps address a very common challenge in the process mining community, whether it be ServiceNow's process mining or any other solution on the market. Just general awareness and adoption of this powerful capability tends to be low within many organizations. I also love this topic because this is an area where we, as an in-platform solution, have a distinct advantage. We'll get to all that, but let's, of course, get the logistics out of the way. Purpose of these sessions are to help us all get better educated on ServiceNow's in-platform process mining capabilities. We'll provide how-tos, practical guidance and use cases, product updates, and as a group, just exchange ideas and collaborate so we all continue to get better. How these sessions work? Well, we have a scheduled topic that we usually cover for the first 30 minutes or so. I typically go over, but I try not to. We'll open it up for questions on the chosen topic for the session, and then we'll open it up for questions above and beyond the day's topic, sort of like in office hours. And these sessions always get recorded and eventually posted on the community site. I usually get them out there before the end of today or the day that we have the actual live session. And finally, feel free to post your questions in the Q&A section of the chat, and I'll do my best to answer them. And if I can't answer them today, we usually use them for a future topic, or definitely we post a response on the community site itself. One other logistical note. I've been coordinating and handling the scheduling of these sessions mostly on my own since this academy has started. We've grown to the point that we are going to be moving these academy sessions to a more formally managed live on now academy session. So, like you see for other platform capabilities like the virtual agent and platform analytics. So just be on the lookout for a new invite from that team. I'm not sure whether it's going to be for the next academy session or we'll do it post knowledge, but it's going to be happening at some point. So if you get a new invite to a new academy session, just feel free to accept it. We need to grow. This is the slide that says anything we say and do here today can't be held against me in the court of law. It's also the slide that says, as part of these conversations, if we happen to make any forward-looking statements about things that might be coming in future releases, you should take them as such, make no decisions based on them whatsoever, because things are always subject to change. I'm assuming all of you at this point have read the fine print. My name, for those that I've not met before, is Dan Grady. I'm part of the process mining product team here at ServiceNow. What we'll do here today is we'll do our quick process mining 101 for the newcomers. This is a topic that I think is going to be driving some new folks into the process mining community. So we want to make sure we level set for everyone. Then we'll dive into the topic today, which is talking about extending the reach of process mining insights through platform analytics. We'll jump over to do a couple of little demos and look at how we configure some of these things. We'll get our questions answered and then wrap up with some additional resources that are available above and beyond today. As always, we start with the quick process mining 101 for the newcomers. With everything we do, there's a design and desired path in our minds for how it should work and how things should play out, whether that be planning an event like these academy sessions or a workflow. When we design things, we design for completeness as well as for efficiency to provide the best experience possible for as many people as possible. Unfortunately, what we design isn't always what ends up happening in reality. The reality is that not all the work is going to be flowing through the optimal path, and that's going to have a negative impact on the experience both people requesting service are having, as well as the people that are trying to deliver that service. Now, identifying what is actually happening within our business processes and then improving them isn't always easy. What process mining allows us to do is use the audit log data that is generated as records move through a given process to create a visual representation of what is actually happening. This new level of visibility helps us accelerate our abilities to identify inefficiencies, non-conformant process activities, and improvement opportunities. Process mining gives us the ability to answer process questions that have historically been very challenging for us to answer. So where traditional analytics will allow us to answer a lot of the what questions about our processes, process mining helps us answer the whys. So things like, where is the process getting stuck? Where is there unnecessary rework happening? Where are there incidents or tickets or cases ping-ponging between groups? Where aren't we conforming to the process we designed? All things that have historically been difficult to answer and act upon are now available in just a couple of clicks. We like to say that process mining is going to get us to the whys behind all of your KPIs, and in doing so, empower everyone involved in the process to make data-driven decisions about which improvements to make. Now, and that statement is a really solid transition into today's topic. Like, how do we empower more people in the organization with process mining insights? Well, at this point, those of you that have been following along with these Academy sessions know that I love to include a quote or two every now and then. And this happens to be one of my all-time favorites. Certainly, we want good results, but management by results is not the way to get good results. We need to work on the causes of those results. And I love this quote because it highlights one of the biggest missteps organizations have made over the years when it comes to data and analytics. Very often when organizations embark on an analytics journey, they start with executive and management level dashboards. And sometimes that's where they stop. And the reality is, while those dashboards are important, the numbers on those dashboards don't move just because we have executive level dashboards. Those numbers only start to move when we start using intelligence to influence the behaviors and experiences of all the other stakeholders involved in a given business process. And reaching that extended target audience has been challenging for traditional data analytics solutions, but it's a core strength of the ServiceNow platform. Like, for more than probably 40 years now, Gartner and other analyst firms have produced reports and studies about the adoption of data and analytics solutions in organizations. And those studies typically indicate that adoption hovers between 20 and 30%. And one of the primary reasons for that is these traditional approaches struggle to get beyond the corner office and into the front lines of an organization, which is where we need to get to if we want to start working on the causes of the results. And using intelligence to improve employee experiences and customer experiences for that matter, maybe using intelligence to identify opportunities to streamline and improve the speed in which work is getting done, and empowering decision makers to make both strategic and operational level decisions, right? We need to put that information in the flow of all these different folks' day-to-day lives, and to not only help them make the best decisions possible, but to do so in a prompt and efficient manner. The intelligence that's built into the ServiceNow platform allows us to expand beyond that traditional 20 and 30% because we're already on the front lines. Like, that allows us to embed the insights into those daily experiences, because let's face it, like the closer you get to the front lines, the less likely you are to get somebody to leave the system they're doing the work in to go someplace else to get an insight to help them do their job. They might not even know that other place even exists. Process mining happens to be just one of the many ways we're able to deliver insights to drive actions and productivity across the platform. What we want to focus on in today's session is how can we extend the reach of process mining insights beyond that process mining workspace that many of us know and love, and tell a more complete story for certain stakeholders in the organization, and ultimately drive more awareness and adoption of process mining itself. The primary way we can do this is by adding the process map, the visualized process map, to a persona-based dashboard that you're authoring and sharing inside of your organization. In the Vancouver release, we made the process map visualization available to the platform analytics dashboards. And this allows us to start highlighting the process level insights, things like where are the bottlenecks, where is the rework, the ping-ponging, et cetera, and then start to combine those with other operational reports and trend-based KPIs in a single view for a given persona. And that's going to let us tell a much more complete story for that given persona. For those of you that follow along frequently, you know that the process map widget got a nice enhancement in the Washington release, right? We added this ability to drill down on a process node, let's say an assignment group or a state, or maybe even a priority, to see all of the incoming and outgoing arcs or flow of work from that node. It's a very useful feature specifically for an assignment group analysis, so you can start to see where all the work is being transferred into a team, and where all that that's the best way to say it. Seeing the work that's being transferred into that team, and then also see where that team is transferring their work two. If you were somebody responsible for a team or a group, you can imagine how valuable this type of insight would be. And adding a map to a dashboard is pretty straightforward. We'll do this in the demo piece today, but really you create your process mining project. If you haven't done that before, check out the very first Process Mining Academy session. We go from start to finish. Actually, we create 2 projects in that session if you're interested. And once you have the project mined, you'll go to the Platform Analytics workspace, or I think now we're calling it Experience, and you'll add a new element, which will be the Process Mining Map. In the config for that map widget, you basically choose the project you want to include and power that widget. And then you kind of set things like the number of connections and whether you want to see all these little dots, like showing you the volume and the velocity of the work moving through the different nodes. And like I said, we'll walk through this in the demo portion today. Just one note, though, that when you do add this to the dashboard, the user viewing that dashboard is going to need to have the process mining viewer role, and the project is going to need to be shared with that user. Now, in addition to adding the process map directly to the dashboard, in the Washington release, you can start to surface the powerful improvement opportunities based on the rule-based and automating findings you're adding to your process mining projects in the Platform Analytics Insights panel on the right-hand side of the screen. So, envision a world where a process owner is seeing their closure times trending in the wrong direction in a performance analytics score widget, and their real-time backlog finding in an operational report on their dashboard. And then in the Insights panel, they're getting improvement opportunities like X number of cases are sitting in a waiting vendor state for more than 2 weeks maybe, or X number of incidents are being transferred back to your team from team Y multiple times. These would be situations that would be impacting that persona's KPIs in a negative fashion, and acting on those insights would have both the short-term and long-term impact on those same KPIs. So bringing all of this together in one place will help tell a more complete story for that target audience. Just so you know, you can get the insights in the panel without placing the visualized process map on the dashboard itself. But if we go back to that idea of increasing awareness of process mining in an organization and even driving the adoption of your existing dashboards that you have built already, the process mining map is a nice piece of eye candy that will most definitely garner some additional attention. So if you're trying to raise awareness around all the dashboard work you do, a process map doesn't hurt to be put on that dashboard if it makes sense. Okay, so how does this work, these insights? Well, the first step is to make sure that you have performance analytics KPIs defined. There are a whole bunch of out-of-the-box content packs that provide you out-of-the-box KPIs across the different workflows on the platform. So just go in and see if you got those enabled and turned on. Of course, you can configure your own KPIs beyond the ones that are out of the box. And if you've listened for a long time and you probably already know how to create your own. But just know that you can. If you just want to try it out, you can always create what is known as a manual indicator and simply type in some score. So if you don't want to turn on the data collection jobs performance analytics, but you want to just play around with this feature, use a manual indicator. Once you have the performance analytics indicators in place, you need to map them to your process improvement opportunities, also known as finding definitions in a project. This is an important step. Even if you aren't planning on using the Insights panel, this linkage between the improvement opportunities and the KPIs helps you to populate some of the information on the process mining project summary and insights page. So if you're mining a project for the first time and the mining completes and you go to the summary and insights page and you see a no data message for a widget there, this is the likely cause. The likely cause is that you've not mapped your improvement opportunities to a KPI. Now, once that mapping is in place, we can go ahead and create our dashboard in the Platform Analytics Center. When we create the dashboard, there are 2 primary things we need to remember to do, and I'm hoping that I remember to do this in the demonstration portion today. One is add a visualization that uses a KPI that is linked to an improvement opportunity, and then configure the Insights panel to include that process mining project insights. You'll toggle on the option to include process mining and then select the projects you'd like to include. there's a scheduled job that runs to kind of pull the insights from the aligned project as well. So we'll do that here today too. But that's it. These are the big steps. Create a performance analytics KPI, or make sure that you have one. Map that KPI to your process mining improvement opportunities. And then when we create our dashboard, we need to put the KPI there, and then make sure that we align the project in the insight panel configuration. In order to get that process mining option added to your insights panel, you need to activate the Data and Analytics Process Mining Insights plugin. That's one plugin that's here. Once this is activated, you'll not only get the option to add process mining insights to a platform analytics insights panel, but you also get this scheduled job that pulls the appropriate insights into the dashboard. This, like I said, scheduled job in operational worlds, you will not need to ever kind of go to this job, I don't think. But for testing purposes and for my purposes here today in the demonstration, there is this Execute Now button that we can click to kind of make sure that we drive the insights to the dashboard so we can see it working. All right, last thing before we get into the instance and start poking around a bit, I just wanted to reinforce the importance of telling the whole story and remind us that we have what we need to tell that story in the ServiceNow platform, right? You have the operational reporting component of the platform. That gives us a real-time view into where we stand right now. So for example, reporting could tell you that we have 150 cases open right now, which is super useful information. But if I came to you and asked whether 150 open cases right now was good or bad, you wouldn't have all the information you need to effectively answer that question. In order to effectively answer that good or bad question, we need to know not only where we are now, but where we have been before. And now that we have those two data points, we can answer the most important question, which is, are we improving or not? Everything we do in the ServiceNow platform is designed to help improve the way that work gets done. Performance analytics brings the engine and the infrastructure to help us start to capture the data points we need to answer that very important question of, are we improving or not? Performance analytics also gives us the ability to set targets and goals, so we communicate to people in the organization where we want to be. There's also a forecasting engine that helps us understand that if all things stay the same, this is when we will reach our targets and goals that we've set for ourselves. But now if we layer in process mining, we start to get the insights we need to help us understand the levers that we can start to pull in the organization, the process changes that we can make that will help us outperform our targets and potentially reach our goals more quickly. Right? So all three of these things together tell us a really complete story. And one of the best analogies I've ever heard to describe the three of these is somebody said once, operational reporting is kind of like a scoreboard at a game. It tells us the home team is up 28-27. It gives us information about how much time is left and how many timeouts each team has. All solid and useful pieces of information. But what it doesn't tell us is that the home team was up 28-0 and the visitors have just scored 27 straight points, or that the home team's best player just got hurt a few minutes ago. It doesn't give us any visibility into the momentum inside of the game. And you'd hope that you'd coach or manage the game differently based on the momentum. Performance analytics gives us that visibility into the momentum inside of the game. Then, wouldn't it help to know which strategies or plays would be most effective against the particular team you're playing to streamline your path to scoring points or improve your ability to defend? That is exactly what process mining gives you. All three work in combination to arm the people in your organization with the information they need to manage their businesses in a much more effective manner. All right, let's jump over into the instance and take a look at some of this stuff live. So we'll come over here. First thing I'll just point out, this is the project that I've created and already mined. It's an assignment group analysis project. And we'll use this one to kind of add this map to the dashboard. So we'll come in here. We've got our project metrics. We've got our improvement opportunities. You'll notice here that I've got this one KPI match. This is the widget that gets populated by that linkage between our impacted KPIs and our improvement opportunities. And you'll see this one also has one improvement opportunity of multi-hop issues, and it's linked to our first group resolution rate metric there. And I'll just show you the map real quick. And this is the map that we're going to wind up adding to our dashboard. So I need to remember Academy Platform Analytics Assignment Group Analysis. So what we'll do now is we'll come over here to our, just see if I can type this in, Platform Analytics Experience. And we'll build a dashboard. We'll say create a new dashboard. And we'll give it a name. We'll say today's Platform Analytics Academy dashboard. And we'll create new. And we'll just start adding some elements to this dashboard. So maybe we'll want to add a data visualization, a real-time one. I've saved some of these to streamline the process. And we'll just look for our number of open incidents, real-time report, search. There it is. And we'll add that to our dashboard. Great, that's a real-time operational report that we've added there. Maybe we want to add something that gives us a breakdown of our open incidents by priority. So let's see if I search for priority. Great, I got that one created for me. Maybe we'll put that down. We'll leave that up here for now. And then maybe we want to add some performance analytics KPIs, one that shows us our first group resolution rate. So we'll say first group, search for that. Great, got that one. We'll add that to the dashboard. So now I've got a real time. I've got some operational metrics and breakdowns, and then I've got my performance analytics trend-based information, and I can see, whoa, my first group resolution percentage is dropping. Maybe I want to add a process map that shows me kind of where all that work is being transferred from and transferred to. So what we can do here is we can add our process mining map, make this a little bit bigger, and then you'll see the configuration for this. It's going to ask me for which process mining project do we want to add. And we'll look for things that have Academy. And there's the one, my Academy Platform Analytics Assignment Group Analysis. So it'll add that map. You'll see it's got this option here to follow filters. So if I were to add a drop-down list to filter these by assignment group or priority, this map would follow along and filter out based on that. Maybe my connections, I want to expand this out to be a little bit, let's say like 40%. That's just mapping to, remember, the toggle that you have inside of the process mining workspace to expand the number of connections that you're showing. We'll leave 100% of the activities. And in this case follow simulation, this allows me to put, you can't really see it all that well, but you will when I expand the map, a little movement on the map to show us, to highlight, or not show us and highlight the volume and the velocity of the work moving through the different nodes on the map. We can hit save. We can hit exit editing mode. And there we go. And now that I've got my map, maybe I want to zoom in a little bit to take a peek at what's going on here. All right, so you've got your real-time report. It's up at the top here, performance analytics and the map all in one single place now, telling a much more complete story for, let's say in this case, an incident owner. And then what I can do on the map, right, you see I can expand and contract the connections and the activities. I can zoom in. But I also, in Washington, here's a new feature, is when you can drill into, let's say we want to take a look at IT support services group. Let's drill into that. And now we can start looking at all the incoming and outgoing work from that team. And maybe I just want to focus on the incoming first, so I can narrow this down to just the work that's being transferred into that team. And I can see here, I've got this apps level 2 education. They're sending about 36, well, they sent 36 pieces of work my way. And on average, it's taking 2 weeks for that work to get there. And you can filter in on this transition and just focus in on that. So a really nice way to tell a more complete story for the persona that you're focused on and create more awareness around process mining and the valuable insights that it could potentially provide. And it also will kind of spruce up your dashboards a little bit and maybe drive more traffic to those dashboards as well. So that's piece one, right? Adding the map itself. Now let's take a look at that the insights panel piece. So what we'll do to kind of, I want to walk from start to finish. In this case, we're going to create a project, show you how to map those KPIs to the insights or the improvement opportunities, and then we'll map those improvement opportunities and insights to this panel on the right-hand side here inside of a dashboard. So first things first, let's go to that process mining workspace and we'll create a new project. Let's just close this one out. My projects and create a new project. Now remember, I'm actually using a Washington early access instance here today. So for those that are not aware, if you're saying this doesn't look quite well like what I'm used to seeing, in Washington, we've added a guided setup experience for project creation. So if this looks a little bit different, that's why. So the first thing we'll do is we'll just call this today's Academy project. We'll pick a table. Of course, we'll use our incident table here. Do we want to add a KPI dashboard? No, we don't need to add a new dashboard for this. We're going to use the project metrics that are automatically getting created, and I don't want this project to retire. And we'll save and move along. The next step will be to kind of configure our filter criteria for our incident table. So I'll click here. And I'll say I want to just focus in on closed work. Active is false. And then maybe, you know what, I only want to focus in on human-generated incidents. So let's get rid of these. Channel is not. Alerts, cool. Just see how many records I have there. About 25,000, that'll be good. We can save this. Let's set up our activity. In this case, we'll use our state field as our activity. Great. Got that. And then we'll just add one breakdown. Not needed for this exercise, but it's always nice to have one there. So we'll come here, we'll add a breakdown. Maybe we'll add a breakdown of category. Hit save. Cool. And we move to the next step. Now, this is the important piece here. All that other stuff, yes, we need to have that to generate our project. But now we want to add an improvement opportunity. And just for your awareness, these are also called finding definitions, if you're familiar with that terminology. In the Washington release, when you import from the content packs, those don't get mapped yet. We're targeting that mapping in Xanadu. In order to get an insight to appear on the platform analytics panel, you need to create a new one in the project itself. So we're going to hit this new button here. This is going to bring me to my creation screen for creating an improvement opportunity. What we'll do is we'll create an improvement opportunity to look for things that are going into the state of awaiting caller info twice. So we'll give that a category of performance, maybe a type of, let's say, long resolution time, and we'll say incidents going to awaiting caller more than once. And this is the important piece here, this impacted KPI. Let's map this finding to a KPI. And I have one called MTTR Insights, so I know what it is. So there's things that go into awaiting caller info more than once, they're going to have an impact on my MTTR KPI. Perfect. So now we've got that. That's the piece. Don't forget to do that piece. Now we'll hit submit, and now we need to create that rule. So the rule is going to be find me awaiting caller info one. Find me all the situations where the state gets set to awaiting caller info. State is awaiting caller info. Great. We'll save that one. And then that's eventually followed by the incident going into the state of awaiting caller info again, awaiting caller 2. So I'll say incident, set up our condition, state is awaiting caller. Okay, so we've got our finding definition. Go find me all the incidents in which the state gets set to awaiting caller and then is eventually followed by the state getting set to awaiting caller again. Now, since I'm in an early access instance here, I got a little bit of something we've already fixed, but if I come back to my project, you'll notice that this doesn't get added here, but if I hit next, you're going to see that that impacted KPI has been added to my, or sorry, that finding, definition, or improvement opportunity has been added. I've got my linkage to my impacted KPI, and we can mine. So I'll hit mine. I'm just going to do a sample mine here. Confirm and mine. And this is going to go out. It's going to harvest that data for me from the audit logs. It's going to pass it to the machine learning infrastructure. And then we'll go from there. But as that mining takes place, let's just check the Q&A and see if I can answer some questions as we wait. Got it. So one of the questions is, hey, the KPI that you added to the dashboard, does that reflect the process data that you mined, or is that an overall for the overall instance? That's going to be just a KPI. It's not going to be directly tied to the process mining map per se, unless you've designed your dashboard that way. But that's just a general performance analytics KPI, not necessarily tied to the map. Now, if you start using filter criteria on the dashboard, that can be used to kind of control and filter both the KPI data as well as the operational reports and the process map itself. Question is, the process map visualization, is that only available in the new platform analytics dashboards, or is it also available in the old school responsive dashboards? No, the process map visualization is only available in the new platform analytics views. Can you link multiple KPIs to a particular project? The answer to that is yes. You can link multiple KPIs. In fact, I'm actually going to go, when we go back to add this to the dashboard, you're going to see that we're going to surface KPIs from that first project, the assignment group one, surface insights from that assignment group project, as well as this project that we just created here. Do you need to have a breakdown defined on the project in order to drive the interactive filter on the dashboard? Not for the process map itself. That's really going to, the way that filter, so let's, if you had put a drop-down list, let's say to filter on assignment group on that dashboard, that's going to work just like a condition inside of the process map. It's going to use the operational data to filter on that assignment group. So you do not need to have a breakdown configured to slice and dice. It's going to work like the conditions. Question about the licensing needed. So this, to do this, yes, you're going to need to have access to performance analytics. That comes with a pro level entitlement for ITSM, HR, CSM, all the different SKUs that are out there. In addition to that performance analytics license that you're going to get with the professional level, you're going to need to have a process mining entitlement as well. You can get that via an add-on component to your pro entitlement, or you can upgrade to the enterprise level of ITSM or CSM. All right, so our mining completed, and I was able to answer a bunch of the different questions that have come in at the same time. That worked out well. And there's our map for today. And let's just come over here to our summary and insights page. And you'll notice here that I've got these incidents that are going into the awaiting caller info state more than once. In this subset of data, we flagged 162 that met that criteria. And there's our link to that impacted KPI of MTTR. So what do we do next? Well, let's go set this up to surface these insights from this project on that dashboard. So we'll go back over here to my platform analytics page. Here's my dashboard. First thing we need to do is let's add that MTTR insights KPI to this dashboard, right? We want to make sure that we have that KPI on the dashboard itself. So let's add a new element. We'll go to our data visualization. I've saved this one as well. So we'll look for MTTR, not M. Search. Found it. Add this to the dashboard. Great. And maybe I'll move this up here a little bit. We have to play artist a little bit here. Come on. And maybe we'll add this one a little bit bigger. Make this bigger. Okay, Great. So now I've added this MTTR piece to the dashboard. Next piece. So now that we've got that there, we also need to turn on the insights panel, the process mining piece of the insights panel. So it's already toggled on process insights for process mining, but what projects do I want to link the insights from? Well, we'll link our Today Academy project one. You know what? Let's also link that first one, that assignment group, Academy Analytics Assignment Group project. So I've linked 2 process mining projects. So we'll be pulling those insights or improvement opportunities from those 2 projects into this dashboard. And we can hit save. And those are going to be powered by these 2 different key performance indicators, right? My MTTR insights, as well as that first group resolution. So if I close this now and we come back and we say exit editing mode, you'll notice I have my insights panel up here at the right. If I open up my insights panel, first, I'm going to have this multi-hop issue one here. That's there because I've already mined that project and run that scheduled job for insights related to this first group resolution, right? If I look at all my KPIs, that one's going to be there. The one that's not there yet is the linkage between my MTTR insights. Why that's not there is because we just created that project and that scheduled job has not run to pull the improvement opportunities and insights out of that project into this dashboard yet. But we're going to go force that to happen by coming over here in my favorites, and we'll find my scheduled job. We'll hit execute now. And that scheduled job is going to run and eventually populate this dashboard or this insight here for that one. Don't know how long that job usually takes to run, but it'll eventually run and we'll have it show up here in this list as well. As that runs, I'll just check to see if there's any questions that I have not answered yet. If you've got any questions, now would be a good time to put them in there because that job has to run. I'll just refresh this and see if it completed. And if it's not, we won't linger too long. You've seen the process and what it takes. But the idea now, or the end result of all of this, is if you think about this dashboard that we've got here, it's going to be telling a very, very complete story, right? Real-time information in one on the same screen as our trend-based KPIs, and then our visualized process map, along with insights that are being surfaced. And like I said earlier, you don't need to be using this map to get these insights to surface, but I do think the map adds a little bit of flair to your dashboard, and we'll start driving additional traffic. We'll just come in here, refresh one more time to see if that job completed. If not, we'll move on to the questions and answers portion. Oh, and there it is. So there's our incidents that go into awaiting caller info more than once. We can get some additional details about that, but that's what it takes. I think this is a nice way to start, again, extending the reach of your process mining insights and opportunities to more stakeholders in an organization instead of having to force everyone to go into the process mining workspace every time. All right. Anybody have any questions? Now's the time. Put it in the Q&A or in the chat if you've got any questions or things that we've not answered yet. Let's get those in there. While we wait for questions to come in, just a reminder for folks that are not aware of all these different assets or resources that are out there for you. There is an on-demand training called Process Mining Essentials. You can find that on the Now Learning site. We're in the process of updating that to the Washington level right now, but there is a current course out there. There's a really good Now on Now white paper out there. So it focuses on our process mining journey here at ServiceNow, how we design the program, some of the processes that we've mined, which are over 40 now here at ServiceNow. This highlights, I think, 5 or 6 different findings and ways that we've improved processes based on what process mining told us. There is a community forum for process mining, a specific product hub on the community forum site where you can post a ton of questions. Well, you post any questions you have and we'll get them answered for you. You're here at the Process Mining Academy, so you already know how to find it, but this is just, if you just stumbled upon this recording, this session is just one of over 20 now that exist that do deeper dives into different aspects of process mining on the ServiceNow platform. So feel free to go out and check those out. We've just updated the first Process Mining Academy. So if you're new to process mining, you want to learn how to create your first projects, go check that out. In addition to the Academy, we also host something called a use case series. These are 5-minute videos and step-by-step guides to help you understand how you can do certain types of analysis, like SLA breach analysis, or using process mining to do analysis of how a process was performing before and after you made a process change, or looking for tickets that are taking longer to route than resolve. So there's about 10 of those 5-minute recordings out there that dive into specific use cases. And then, of course, there's a live on now session. So to help us understand how to get started with this, what plugins to turn on, creating your first projects, those types of things. Those are all additional resources that are available to you out there on the community site. Last chance for romance. Anybody got any questions that we've not addressed so far? Anything you want to talk about before we turn into a pumpkin today? Somebody's asking if there's any more detailed training above and beyond the Now Learning course. I would say those Academy sessions, these Academy sessions, if I would dive into those 20. That's the deepest you're going to get, because if we spend 45 minutes on things just like root cause analysis or the histogram, so that would be your best place above and beyond that Now Learning course to learn more. And then it was an ask about labs. No lab environment as of yet. And unfortunately, the PDIs, or the personal developer instances, they're not connected up to the machine learning infrastructure we use to do the mining. So your best bet is to use your sub-production instance. So you can activate the plugin and mine up to 3,600 records in that sub-production instance if you want to play around based on what you're seeing. Anyone else? Any other questions? Give you one more minute to get them in as we wait for those to come in. So just so you know, scheduling wise, current plan is the next session in April. In Washington, we opened up the external mining capability a little bit more, and we've allowed now the ability to link together internal ServiceNow process data and external process data into a single multi-dimensional map. It's a pretty advanced use case, but we did want to do a session that walked through how to set those up, or set that situation up, that bringing together both internal and external process data in a single multi-dimensional map. And then May, we're going to bypass the Academy session because Knowledge is in May. And if you are planning on attending Knowledge 2024, we have confirmed 3 different process mining sessions that we'll be hosting there. So there'll be an introductory type of process mining session, one that covers a lot of what we covered here today in terms of the better together story with performance analytics and process mining. And then we'll have a session in which we go through 5 of the most common use cases. That's the current plan. In terms of the next session, that is the planned one. But if somebody gets on the community site or shoots me a note and says, hey, we really want to dive into this area, that next session is always subject to change. With that, I'll check one more time for any additional questions that we've not addressed. It doesn't look like there's any out there. Really appreciate your attendance here today. Look forward to seeing you on the April session or wherever our paths may cross, and happy mining, everyone.